Welcome back student. Today we will start with input devices. Okay, we already know that which are the input devices. So first we will go through the keyboard. The keyboard is used to enter the data or give instruction to the computer. Now it is very simple to understand that we give input through keyboard. There are more than 100 key on the keyboard. How many keys are there on keyboard? So there are more than 100 key on the keyboard. This include letters, number key for punctuations mark, and some special key. Okay, so there are the letters key, numbers key, punctuation marks key, and some of the special keys. When you press a key on the keyboard, you will see that particular character on screen. Okay, this has happened to us also. When you are pressing H, I, whatever the key, you can see that on the screen. As each character appears on the screen, you will see a small blinking vertical line moving one space to the right. Okay, so there is a one blinking vertical line, that is what is called, it is called cursor. It shows where you are working on the screen, Now next is a mouse. The mouse is a small device with 2-3 buttons. The left mouse button is the most frequently used button. Now you can see in the figure, there is a left and right button on the mouse. Okay, so the mouse is kept and moved over the mouse pad. Okay, so left mouse button is frequently used. The mouse is kept on mouse pad. Now next is when you move the mouse on the mouse pad, you will see a small arrow moving on the screen. When you are moving the mouse, you can see the small arrow moving on the screen. That arrow is called, what it's called, mouse pointer. That arrow will call mouse pointer. The mouse is used to select items from a menu or point to a location on the screen, and so it is also called pointing device. Okay, so this is selecting for the menu and also point to a location on a screen. Okay, you can point it anything with the help of mouse, so it is known as a pointing device. Our next topic is, you can see, output devices. First is a monitor. When you enter data or give instruction to the computer, the monitor screen display whatever you are typing currently. So whatever thing you are typing, you can see it on the screen. It also displays the output produced by the computer. So it also shows us the output which is displayed by the computer. Hence it is also known as visual display unit. It is also called VDU. What is the full form of VDU? Visual display unit. There are two kind of monitor. What are they? Monochrome monitor and color monitor. Okay, so two type of monitor are there, monochrome and color monitor. Now they have shown you the figure of monitor. Now next is a printer. The output produced by a computer is displayed on the monitor. Whatever you are writing with the help of keyboard, you can see that on monitor. This output can be printed on paper with the help of printer. You can take that output on the page with the help of printer. The printer printed copy of the text or a picture, that is called hard copy. When you are taking the printout of any picture or any text, it is called hard copy. The copy stored by the computer or displayed on a monitor screen called soft copy. When you are dealing with the computer copy, then it is called soft copy because you can see that only on the screen. Now there are three kinds of printers. They have explained you about the printers. What are they? Dot matrix, inkjet and laser printer. First is a dot matrix. A dot matrix printer has a small set of needle like pins to print words or picture. Okay, so in the dot matrix printer there is a small needle like a pin. It will punch to your paper and display the image or text. The word or a picture are printed in the form of dots. You can see that the picture and the text with the help of dot, it will be displayed on a paper. Most dot matrix printers are printed in a black and white. Okay, generally dot matrix printer are printed in the black and white format. Now next is a inkjet printer. What is that? The head of inkjet printer has many tiny holes on it. In that there are too many tiny holes. Ink is forced out to these holes to form words or pictures on a paper. With the help of that tiny holes, ink are forced and page the text and pictures are displayed. Inkjet printers can print in both black and white and color. Okay, inkjet printer can work in both the side, black and white also, even though colored also. Now next is a laser printer. A laser printer prints words or pictures with the help of a laser beam. What is this? With the help of laser beams, the laser beams, it will print the text and picture on the paper. It is used for the good quality of printing. A laser printer prints the whole page at a time. Okay, so a laser printer will print the whole page at a time. Now next is you can see dot matrix printer, inkjet printer and laser printer. Now next is a processing unit. The processing unit contains CPU. What is the full form of CPU? Central Processing Unit. The other electronic component that help the CPU to process the input according to the program and generate output. So how it is work? CPU to process input according to the program. What CPU manages? Take the input as per the program and generate the output. The CPU of a computer is a small chip made up of silicon. Okay, so what is this? The CPU is a CPU of a computer is a small chip which is made up of silicon. It is also known as the microprocessor. Okay, this small chip is known as the microprocessor. All the electronic circuits of the computer are fixed on a small chip. Okay, all the electronic chips are fixed on what? In this small chip. And the CPU is the called of the brain of the computer. What is the CPU called? It is the brain of computer. Why it is called the brain of computer? Because it's control the entire working of computer. Okay, all the working of computer managed by the CPU only. It processes the input with the help of program and gives the output. So it processes the input. Okay, it is work on input and gives us output. On the receiving the data instruction from the input device, the CPU decide what to do. Now the work of CPU is that type of measures that it gives you which type of input you should have to enter and which type of process done by a program and which type of output will come. So the CPU decide what to do, how to do and which unit will do. Now CPU decide what to do means what action performed by the my system. Okay, that is decided by CPU. How to do, how it work and what to do and which unit will do it. Okay, that all decided by the CPU. and accordingly it sends message or signals to those units. So as per the requirement, it will send this instruction to the units, like input units or output units, which unit will work on that. After processing the data, the CPU generate information and display it through the output units. When the work is completed, which is given by the input units and processed by the CPU, then the output will display on monitor. Now there are three components of CPU. First is a control unit, arithmetic and logic unit, and last is a memory. Now control unit, the CU. The CU controls and coordinates the movement of data and manages processing. So how the CU works? It coordinates the movements as well as manages the processing. It receives the input, transfer it to the ALU and obtain the result from the ALU. Okay, so it will get the input, receive the input, transfer it to ALU, because when it's ALU working, when the arithmetic and logical operation will come, it will transfer to ALU and obtain the result from ALU. After working on that particular input, the result will be given by the ALU, and the CU also controls the storage, the data in the memory. Also the working of CU is that it will manage the memory. Now next is the arithmetic and logical unit. All the arithmetic and logical operation are done by ALU. Okay, so ALU manages all the arithmetic operation as well as logical operation. The CU first gets the information from the memory. So what CU done? Get the information from the memory and then transfer to the ALU, and then it will transfer to ALU to perform the operation. The ALU performs the operation and sends the result back to the memory, and after performing that action, ALU will send it to the memory back. Now the memory receives the data from CU and store it. Okay, memory take the data from CU and store it. The CU then sends this data to the ALU for the processing. Now the CU will send that data to the ALU for the processing and then produce output. After that, it will produce the output. The CU collect this data output and send it to the memory for the storage, and after that it will send to the memory for the storage. The CU then instructs the memory to send the output in output devices, and then CU what will done? CU will send the output to the output device. Okay, now next is a storage unit that we will continue in the next period.